Hey guys, Jay Borders here, and today I'm going to be discussing the Border versus Border series and what it really means. What is the true meaning behind Border versus Border? What meaning was I trying to convey? And that is what we're going to be talking about today. So this is going to be very interesting, so stick around. Alright guys, so before I get into this video, I know I've been gone for a very long time. I haven't been active on the channel, but the reason why is because I'm going to discuss that later on in this video. There are reasons as to why I haven't been uploading. I've been being very productive with my life, pursuing some things, taking care of some things, but I will get into that later on in the video. So yeah, let's get right into it. So Border versus Border. All right, now looking at this, just watching it, you may think, oh, okay, it's pretty simple of what it means. What does Border versus Border really mean? It's about good and evil. I mean, Border versus Border, right? Well, yes, that is true, but it's a lot more deeper than that. It's actually a lot more complex. If you really look into it, from my perspective, which I'm going to be revealing, but it's a lot more deeper, it's a lot more complex, it's a lot more powerful than you can actually perceive watching it without this input that I'm about to give you. But so there are tons of interpretations. Obviously the main theme of it, I don't really need to go into that into this, but the main theme is good versus evil. Good versus evil. And in the end, good will always win. Good will always prevail against evil. That is the main theme. That's the message. That's what's really being sown throughout all the Border versus Border films, from the originals, even all the way to the animated series. The main theme is good versus evil, and that good will always win. Good will always prevail in the end. Evil may get the upper hand on good, but in the end, the good will always prevail against the evil. The light will always prevail against the darkness. And on the surface, that's what it looks like. All right, it's just this crazy stick figure, animation with good versus evil. But I'm gonna discuss it in more detail. All right, the deeper meaning behind Border versus Border, and I believe it's very powerful. I believe it can change lives. It can change your perspective about a lot in life in general. So let's get right into it. Okay, so Border versus Border, guys, good and evil. Let's start off with the main characters, good and evil. So what are good? Who is good and evil? What are they? All right, what is their purpose? Obviously, good exists as the overly optimistic good person, willing to do the right thing all the time. He's just too good to be true, right? He's good, obviously. And on the other hand, we have evil, who is overly evil and selfish and self-centered. So you have these two extremes. You on the other hand, on the left, you have good. All right, he's the good guy. Optimism, positive energy. And then you have evil, negative energy. Everything about evil is negative. All right, dark. All right, you have light and you have darkness. All right, but what you have to understand about good and evil is that who they actually are. They are me. Yes, I literally said it. They are me. They are myself. Now we're going to get into this. This is where it gets interesting. So you might be saying to yourself, well, what do you mean they're you? How can you be good and evil? Well, okay, I want you to think of it this way. Good and evil represent the good that's within me, as well as the bad that is within me as a person. And I can even take it a step further, is that they mean all of us. They mean all of us. It's about all of us. It's about humans. It's about humanity. All right, the good and the evil the good and the bad of the individual. So it is the good and the bad of me. It is the good part of me, the light, and it is the darkness. All right, so that's what good and evil are. What good and evil are actually are ideals. You have good, which is, a force for good, a force for life, okay? The goodness of life, the positive. And then you have evil, which is, a force and an influence for, darkness, the negative of life, okay? Death. You have these two. Basically, you have these two figures. You have good and evil, and what good and evil are is what they are ideals. They're ideals, okay? So yeah, that's what they really are, and I'm going to explain why are they ideals. Okay, good is the good influence. All right, good is the good choice, and evil is the bad choice. Okay, and I'm going to get into why that is. Okay, why they are ideals. So now you finally know what good and evil actually are, or the hidden meaning behind what they are. All right, the hidden meaning behind what they are is they represent myself, or they represent humans. All right, the internal war and the internal war between good and evil, between what is bad and what is, good. That's what they represent. They are ideals, all right? Ideal, a positive ideal and a negative ideal, okay? So you have a perfectly good ideal and you have a perfectly evil ideal, battling it out to see who's going to win in the end, all right? Or who's going to prevail, who's going to have control, basically. So let's talk about this. Alright, so I want you to get this right off the bat. I want you to understand that despite the chaos in the world and the things that happen to us in life, we have a conscious choice to fight the darkness, to resist evil, and to yield to good. And when we do that, when we yield to good and we resist the evil, we become powerful. We become an ideal. All right? For example, have you ever, seen a son wanting to be like his father? All right? Or, basically, have you ever had somebody in your life who was an ideal for you? Somebody you looked up to, somebody you respected. All right? Somebody who was somebody you inspired to be like. All right, somebody who you wanted to be like, somebody who you looked up to, essentially. That person is an ideal. All right, that's somebody you look up to. That's somebody that you respect, and that's somebody you want to be like. So that person is an ideal in your life. All right, whether you know it or not. So that's kind of the point. So what happens, when you find out that this person, whether it's your parents, a public figure, a world leader, whoever it is, what happens when you find out, in life that you find out, that the people you look up to and respect, you find out the truth about them. You find out that they actually make mistakes. You find out that they're not as perfect as you thought they were. They don't know everything. They make mistakes. They're human just like you. And that can hurt you. That can anger you. That can disturb you, because what you thought to be perfect is actually flawed. But you see, what you have to understand is that nothing is perfect. That's the beauty of life. That's what makes it meaningful. So nothing is perfect. And so basically what I'm trying to say is that, no matter who we are on this planet, there's always good and bad in every individual. And we all have a choice to choose between what is good and what is bad. We have a choice to choose between good and evil, the light and the darkness. All right? everyone is capable of evil, right? Okay, everyone's capable of hurting other people, all right? But just because you are capable of something doesn't mean you do it. All right, for example, when you get angry at someone, even if it's someone you love, all right? Suppose you had guys have an argument, something happens, right? When that happens, when there's conflict, you think about hurting that person because you're angry at that moment, all right? You guys are having a conflict, a heated discussion, whatever. At that moment, you get angry and anything could happen, all right? You have impulses or you think to harm them, all right? That is the darkness, and that is what people are capable of. But just because you are capable of something doesn't mean you do it. And so this is the darkness. This is the part of ourselves that we try to hide from us and others. We try to hide this part of ourselves. All right, because we want to believe that we're good people by believing that we're perfect, but we're not. And so we're afraid of this darkness, all right? You know, this part of us that doesn't really look that good. It's pretty ugly. You know, all our fears, our worries, our doubts, our insecurities, hatred, anger, disgust, it's all there. The ugly part we try to hide from ourselves. We must come to grip with it. And that is evil. That is what evil represents. The darkness. All right, the part of the human being, the part of the human soul that is bad. But what you have to understand, you can't be afraid of it. You have to face it. You have to face the darkness. Because what you have to understand is that the darkness is only as strong as the light. If the darkness is strong, then the light is much stronger. The darkness is only as great as the light. And we have a choice every day to yield to good and fight the darkness in ourselves, or yield to the evil. And that's the whole point. That's what this struggle between good and evil is all about. It's the choice. It's the choice. It's the choice between good and evil. It's the choice. Who's going to win? Who's going to have the final say? Is it good or is it evil? And that's what this conflict is all about. But the whole point of it that's the whole point of it. And so people are so judgmental, and like, you know, what people need to understand is that, you know, people are so judgmental when people do something that is unethical or something that's wrong. All right, and they think that they're better than that person, but the reality is anyone could do that. Any one of us could do that, because any one of us are capable of that. But just because you're capable of that doesn't mean you do it. And this is where we're going to get to. So, back to what I was saying, that's the conflict in the human soul between that which is good and that which is evil. That is good and evil. That is literally what the battle is about. All right? It is the good within me and it is the evil. It is the good within me and it is the bad. All right? It is the good and it is the evil within the human soul. That's what this conflict is all about, between good and evil. All right? So good represents the good part of humanity, the best, the brightness of it. All right? You know, basically the positive. Evil represents the ugly, the negative, the evil, all right, the darkness of the world, all right, of humanity. And so we have to come to grip with it. We have to face it. We can't hide. We can't hide the darkness. We have to face it. See, we can't hide from the darkness, but we can face it. We can't hide from it, but we can face it. So we have to fight it and stop hiding it or running, because one day you will have to. And that's what this conflict is. It's a conflict between good and evil. It's a conflict between light and darkness. And I know it gets hard sometimes. I know it gets hard in life. And life throws its punches, but you got to punch right back at life and let life know what you're going to get out of it. Life is the world. And we're going to expand upon this even further. Life is the world. Okay? The world is chaos. It is our responsibility to control the chaos. How do we control the chaos? By controlling ourselves. By controlling ourselves. The fight is more within than it is without. You see, the truth is, the fight is within, not without. Your greatest enemy is actually yourself. It's actually within. Don't look without. You see, that's what this fight is all about. When you really look at it, that's what good versus evil is all about. It's the fight within. You see, the truth is, we are the ones with the power. Sure, the world influences us, but we are the ones with the power to make a choice. We are not victims. Stop being a victim. Are you guys getting this? Stop giving into the darkness within you. You're the one with the willpower as the one who can make a decision. The only thing the world can do is influence us, but it can't control us. You have to understand that. You have to understand that you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become, because you have a choice in everything you do. I love, and there's this quote that says, life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. Why is that? It's because it's the truth. It's because of our inner world. It's because the world can influence us, but the power is in our hands. The choice is in our hands. We have a choice in everything we do. How we choose to act. The steps in life, the things we choose to do in life, it's all on us. The world can influence us, but we're the ones with the power. And the world is chaos. And we have to control the chaos. And we control the chaos by understanding ourselves and making the right decisions. Understanding that we're the ones with the power. And we are the ones responsible. We are the ones with the responsibility to control the chaos. All right? We're the captains of our own ship. And remember that the world influences us. It can influence us. All right? And it can try to influence us to depending on the circumstances, to be good, to do that which is good, and to do that which is evil. All right? Remember the two ideals, good and evil. You can either be one or the other. So guys, remember, things happen in life. The world, there is chaos. The world, life, these things can affect our lives. It can influence our lives. Like, for example, like bad weather, okay? You may lose your house to a terrible storm, all right? Things like this happen. For example, problems with people, bad relationships, because people are a part of the world. So people are influences. Your boss, your parents, people in your life are influences. So the chaos of the world, that it tries to confine us. It's aggressive, it's forceful, and sometimes it's ugly. So the whole point of this is that the world is coming for us. So we have to be ready for the world. We have to be ready for chaos. Life is coming for us. So we have to be ready for it. We have to control the chaos. We have to control it. Sure, bad things happen. They can try to make us victims of chaos, victims of the world, victims of life and other people. It tries to influence us to become victims, to yield to the darkness, all right, and give up on ourselves, give up our control. Everything becomes negative then, all right? People give up on life. People get depressed and people hate themselves, all right? But what you have to understand is that the choice is yours. You know, the world can only influence you, but you have the power to make the choice. So it's not about what happens without. Look within, make the right choice within. And that's the whole conflict between good and evil. It's the choice between what is good and what is evil. It's the choice and understanding that you can affect the world for good or you can affect it for evil. But despite what happens in this life, despite the negative, despite, you know, the misfortune and things and everything that would try to make you become a victim, everything this world would try to do to make you give up, all right? When you choose, all right, to do that which is good, when you choose the right way, the just way, the what's right, all right, what is good over what's evil, all right? When you make a conscious choice, all right, when human beings make a conscious choice to fight the darkness, to resist evil, and to yield to good, when people do that, they become powerful. They become an ideal. Look at leaders. Look at world leaders, for example. They're ideals. They stand for something. They control the chaos. Look at public figures. Did you know that every YouTuber is an ideal? They have influence. Why do they have influence? Because they're ideals. Everyone on YouTube is an influencer. Everyone in life is an influencer because everyone is part of the world. And if the world influences us, so does people. All right? And you can either be an influence for good or you can be an influence for evil. All right? You can give more life or you can take away from life. Or you can either give more life or you can take life away. It's all about choice. It's all about choice and what you choose to do. It's all about ideals. Look at parents. Our parents, you know, kids growing up wanting to be like their dads, or, you know, daughters wanting to be like their mothers because their parents have become ideals. They've become standards. They've become something they want to be like. And you may not think you're that important, but somebody's watching you in your life right now. Somebody's watching you. You don't know who's watching you. So the whole point is, you know, what type of influence do you want to be? Because the world is an influence. All right? You are in the world. You are an influence. And you can influence people for good and you can influence people for evil. So choose to fight the darkness. Don't be afraid of it. Don't hide from it. Be honest with yourself. Confront the darkness, overcome it, and stand for that which is good. And when you do that, you will become powerful. You will have influence. People will respect you. People will look up to you, and you will change the world for the better of humanity, not for the worse of humanity. You will be something positive and not something negative when you choose to do that which is good. I know this makes sense to you guys. I know it does because it makes sense to me. So it's all about choice. You decide where your life is going to go. It can be something great or it can be horrible. So no matter what happens in life, always make the right choice and choose good over evil. All right? Overcome evil with good. And guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. That's a quote from the Bible. So, yeah, guys, that is what brother versus brother really means. That is the meaning. That is the conclusion I have come to. Good represents the good of the human being. Good represents the good of an individual. And evil represents the bad, the light and the darkness, the yin and the yang, for example. You know, yin and yang. Have you ever seen yin and yang? So now you know the true meaning. It is the struggle between that which is good and that which is evil. And only one can win. But the theme across, you know, all the brother versus brother, movies, even the animated series, is that in the end, good will always win. Evil may, get the upper hand. All right, it may get tough sometimes. Life may get tough. Life may throw its punches at you. But in the end, good will always win. So make the right choices. Stand for that which is good. Because the darkness is only as strong as the light. And have you noticed, like in the films, how evil always comes back? Like in the originals, like good kills evil comes back. He keeps coming back. He can't die. Why is that? It's because the evil, the bad in humanity never really leaves. It never really leaves. It's always there. We always have to face it. We always have to confront it. We always have to face it and overcome it and resist it. We always have to defeat it, but that's okay. That's okay, because when we defeat it, we become an ideal that people can look to and respect, and people can actually want to be like us. That's the point. That's the point. Sure that there is bad. There's bad in this world. There's evil in this world. There's misfortune. But there's also good. So focus on the good. Accept the good. And resist, overcome the bad. Personal growth is everything. Personal development is everything. Better yourself every day. Take care of yourself. That's what it's all about. That's what it means. So yeah, guys, yeah, that's what it means. So yeah, I hope this has helped you guys. And just remember, when you're going through life, when things get tough, no matter what comes at you, no matter what external force, happens in your life, always look internal and always make the right decision. Remember where the real battle is at, and remember where the power is at. It is within you. You are the one with the choice. You are the one who has the ability to make a decision. The world, it can influence us, but it can't control us. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. So how are you going to respond to life today, my friend? The world is coming for us. Life, situations, trials, circumstances, they're coming for us. And so we have to be ready for them. We have to take responsibility for our lives. We have to control the chaos. We have to fight back. We have to let life know that we are in control and we know what we are going to get out of life. Because if we don't, well, then a person becomes a victim. Then the person gets tossed to and fro, and they have no control over themselves. They have no clue where they're going in life. Pick a direction. You could do great things with your life. Whatever you decide to do something. Go cure diseases. Go help people. Go do something amazing. Be an influence for good. Influence the world for the good of humanity. Not for evil. Stand for something, because you will get noticed. All right? You will get noticed. And you play a bigger role than you think. You influence those around you. You influence the world around you. People are watching you, whether you know it or not. And somebody out there, you are somebody's ideal. Somebody wants to be like you. Somebody respects you. So live up to it. And when you do mess up, understand that everyone makes mistakes. Everyone messes up. That's the whole point. The good and the evil, the yin and the yang. It's in each and every one of us. But it's the choice to overcome evil with good. It is the choice to better ourselves every day and to fight the evil. That is the point. Brother versus brother, good versus evil, light versus darkness. And the light always overpowers the dark. So do that which is good. I don't want to go on too long. And guys, I hope this, I know this is going to help you guys. And when it has, leave a comment and let me know how. Like a situation in your life, you know, maybe you thought about this, you were going to make a bad decision or something, and you thought about this and it helped you. Leave a comment below because I want to know. And also share this with your friends and family, guys. There are people out there who need to hear this. You know, I believe this can help people. I believe, you know, this is valuable information. So share this with people, all right? Because I really believe this is more than just like a, you know, funny video I put together. You know, this is actually a very, you know, a very in-depth video, and I believe it can help people, all right? So share it with your friends and family so you can get around, because influence, it's all about influence, guys. So yeah, share this with people. And yeah, guys, I haven't been uploading because, you know, like I said, life, the world is coming for us. So we have to be ready for it. You know, I've been doing business. I've been working a job, you know, I've been busy, you know, taking responsibility for my life. I want to do great things with my life. And as much as I love YouTube, you know, YouTube doesn't necessarily pay the bills. All right. So, yeah, so I'm focused on, you know, basically, I'm focused on success in my life. And that's what we always be focused on. We always be focused on doing something great with our lives. So, yeah, guys, control the chaos. And remember, the world is coming for us. You know, life is coming for us. You got to be ready for it. Be ready for it. We have to be ready for it. And remember that we're the ones with the power. The world is influenced, but we're the ones with the power. So, yeah, guys, this has been Jay Brothers, and I will see you guys in the next video whenever I upload one. So, yeah, take care. Go out there. Change the world for the better. God bless.